The man who wrote and sang Y.M.C.A. in the Navy and Macho Man was not gay, and his first wife went on to play Clair Huxtable, TV's most famous mom. In the song Y.M.C.A., he insisted it was never about sexuality at all. Yet it still became one of the most famous gay anthems in the world. So what was the song really about? And why did he allow Donald Trump to play it at his rallies while other artists were sending him cease and desist letters? Victor Willis recently passed away, and the real story is even wilder than the myth. Let's talk about it. On June 30th, 2026, Victor Willis, the founding voice of the Village People, died at age 74. Before he ever put on the police helmet, Willis was a serious New York stage actor. He trained with the prestigious Negro Ensemble Company and worked his way onto Broadway, and eventually landed a role in the original 1976 production of The Wiz. He was backstage at The Wiz where he met his first wife, a young actress named Phylicia Rashad. She would later become global television royalty as Phylicia Rashad, Clair Huxtable, on The Cosby Show. Willis even wrote and arranged her first album, a disco concept record about Josephine Baker. Then a French disco producer named Jacques Morali spotted him and made an offer that sounded completely made up. Morali told him, "I had a dream that you sang lead vocals on my album and it went very, very big." Willis said yes. 1 year later, Y.M.C.A. was a global phenomenon. The success came fast. Macho Man became the Village People's first Billboard Hot 100 hit in 1978, reaching number 25. Later that year, they released Y.M.C.A. The song climbed to number 2 in 1979. But surprisingly, it never reached number 1. Their next major single, In the Navy, peaked at number 3. Victor Willis helped write and sing 3 of the most recognizable songs of the entire disco era. Y.M.C.A. is now reserved in the Library of Congress National Recording Registry. It's in the Grammy Hall of Fame and remains one of the most played songs in American history. But the success didn't hold. Right as the Village People were filming Can't Stop the Music. Although he had already left, he still wrote lyrics for 2 of the movie songs. He briefly returned in 1983, then walked away again. What followed was a very hard stretch. Willis struggled with substance abuse for years. He had a cocaine-related arrest in 2006, followed by treatment in 2007. Tragically, Willis did not control the publishing rights to the songs he had helped create. In the late 1970s, he transferred his copyright interests to the publishing companies Can't Stop Productions and Scorpio Music. He still received songwriting royalties, but the companies controlled his share of the copyrights. That included the publishing income and the listening of the songs. Then Willis used a rarely tested provision of American copyright law to take back control. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, songwriters who transferred their copyrights could generally terminate those agreements after 35 years. Congress created this provision because artists often signed away valuable rights before anyone knows how much their music will eventually be worth. In 2011, Willis formally notified the publishers that he was terminating his old agreement and reclaiming his share of 33 songs. The publishers sued. They argued that Willis could not act alone without the approval of the other credited songwriters. They also argued that his ownership should remain limited to the smaller royalty percentage written into his original contract. Willis won. The court ruled that because he transferred his rights separately, he was entitled to his actual ownership share as a co-author, not the royalty percentage the publishers had agreed to pay him. That win, that distinction was worth millions. In 2015, a jury increased Willis' ownership to 50% on 13 songs, including Y.M.C.A. On 20 other songs, he reclaimed a 1/3 share in 2017. Willis settled the remaining disputes with longtime Village People producer Henry Bololo and returned as the group's lead singer, this time as an owner, not just an employee. That ownership is exactly why years later, Willis was the one with the power to decide whether Donald Trump could keep using Y.M.C.A. at his rallies. Many music artists filed cease-and-desist letters to the Trump administration. Willis took a different position. He said he didn't endorse any political figure, but he was flattered by the songs used and they brought in millions of dollars back into his own pockets. Trump posted a tribute on social media. "We will think of Victor every time Y.M.C.A. is played, like today. My condolences to his wonderful family and group." Victor Willis passed away on the eve of his 75th birthday, and as someone who spent my own career fighting for fairness in the music industry, I can tell you what he did and what he overcame was tremendous. His story is an inspiration, so the next time you see thousands of people throwing their arms into the air spelling out those 4 famous letters, you're hearing the brilliant, defiant work of a masterful vocalist who fought for his music until the very end. For more stories that connect what's happening now to the deep history behind the sound, subscribe to Your Music Report.